This is Curtis coming at you from Ace Bread Studios, bringing some good news film study. I know I was a little bit of a Grinch bringing all the talk about Austin Jackson, his struggles, but this time it's going to be great news. It's going to be about a key piece of my beloved Miami Dolphins franchise, and that's Tua. Spent 2.5 hours doing video of him last season to really evaluate what the situation was. And it came down, in my opinion, you could check out the videos. He wasn't healthy. And in fact, his body was degrading. There was all the issues obviously involved, but you could see through his mechanics that his body was breaking down. He looked more so like the 2019 Tua, who was, post many surgeries rather than the 2018 fresh-faced Tua. And I just really wasn't certain what he was going to look like going into this preseason. And for me, his health, mechanics, torque on his hip, and the velocity of his football were the primary things that I wanted to see. Because you really can't evaluate a player that's not healthy. And the great news is, week 1 had so many good things. I wanted to do a video, but time really just didn't allow it. But now I'm going to make time, because week 2, what I saw in week 2 was pretty much checking across the board with a plus next to it, just about everything I wanted to see from Tua. And I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, he threw this pick and he threw that touch. Those things are really not what's relevant in preseason. I mean, they play a certain part, but for Tua, that foundation of health was everything. And we got that, and then we got to see more. So I'm going to do a film study, take a look at what we've seen in preseason so far from him, break it down, and show you some still little bits and pieces that still need to be fixed. There's some questions I'll talk about, but for the most part, if you're a Finn fan, you should be very happy. So let's take a look at the film. So this is the first play. We really didn't get to see a lot of outs, him to throw those outs, and it's really important. But this is a 20-yard out, very nice. It wasn't caught, but I think part of the problem was he was feeling the pressure. And if he'd waited just another second, it might have been available for him, but he looked a little rushed. Still, the velocity was good. It was almost a reception. And this is the kind of throws we didn't see last year. You can see right here, this is the long pass to Gesicki. And, for those of you who watched my real long study on him from 2018, you know that one of the things that I brought up was he has a tendency to throw just a tad bit short on the deep balls because his arm is not all world. It's good enough. It's not all world. So this was a good throw, but just a little tad short. You can see right there. If he had put it out in front of him, it probably would have been a touchdown. This is the only other out he threw, I believe. And this has got some good ball velocity. You can see how when his throwing platform and mechanics are compact, he really gets some good velocity. So here's another tendency that we saw a little bit in 2020. It's a short pass, but there's no need for him to fall down like that, to fall back like that. It just, when your feet aren't rooted, you can't generate the velocity. I know it's a little, a little layup over there, a little bit, a little quick pass, but I would prefer to see him plant and throw because he's going to get his best chance to succeed when he has a good platform. And this goes back to one of the things we saw last year when he resets. And when he resets, sometimes he gets awkward platform and ball comes out awry. We didn't see that at all this year. And in fact, you'll see plenty of times during these first 2 games where his reset has been excellent. And this one, it's just a little nitpick, but I would prefer him to set and throw. Look how tight and compact his throwing motion is. Plenty of velocity. He gets into a smallish kind of window. There was just excellent velocity. And we did not see this last year. So we're going to see a very different Tua this season. Another one, I like this one. It's in traffic. It's a tight window pass. The lineman finds that and puts the ball perfectly in a good spot. Now, they were talking about how this ball was just a really tight, but this is not what he wanted. If you go back and look, you can see that Austin Jackson's getting thrown into him. So his throwing motion was interrupted halfway through. So this is excellent. I love the fact that he was able to stand strong and had the power to get this ball in like he did, even though he was being jostled. Again, look at his footwork here. He's able to bounce and move. We did not see that last year. His hip wouldn't allow it. And there's a guy, as a kid, I used to read a lot of comic books. I was a Marvel Comics guy. But my friend was a DC guy, and there was this one dude called Mr. Miracle. And his power was that he could always get out of like traps and tight situations. And that's the way I kind of view Tua a little bit. That's one of his gifts. It's not to be a rusher to get outside, like Lamar Jackson or even Russell Wilson. He doesn't have that top end speed. But in short area space, short area quickness, he has the ability to bob and weave through traffic and then, maybe pick up some yards on the run or reset the throw. And that's a very critical skill set. I think it's one of his most valuable, actually. And you saw it so much here, to climb that ladder, to get the pressure from behind, to feel it, and then to move up through that traffic, keep your eyes downfield, and put the ball on the receiver. On this one, this is a big conversation piece with the interception. And in 2020, it was a body that he did not recognize. And so now he's going through the process of trying to figure out, okay, I remember who I was in 2018. I kind of felt some of that guy in 2019. I wasn't that guy in 2020. Who am I? What can I do with this ball? How tight a window can I get it in? And so this is just a little bit of just testing the waters. But also notice there's a lot of pressure coming his way. He can see that pressure. I would like to have seen him take off here. That would be the better thing. But, it was just a preseason game, And I think he realized, okay, I'm seeing what I can do. What's my ball velocity? And that's the difference between a huge arm and just a pretty good arm. Again, what I like the Dolphins are doing is they're creating space. The fact that he can just get these little dump offs and get them out there to the receivers and let them make plays. It's like almost a knock, facilitator of the football, game manager. But that's who Tom Brady was through, 3 Super Bowls or whatever. So this is just part of his thing. Part of his thing is he's going to give it to the players and let them make plays. That's why Miami's gone out and brought in all these skilled players. Lamar Jackson probably take it to the, the end zone here. That's not who Tua is. But just to be able to do this, that's a huge asset. It's a huge asset. And more of the same thing, his ability to reset, keep his eyes. He's got good players who can catch the football and make plays. What I really like about the designs of these plays is that because of Tua's ability to be Mr. Miracle and to climb the ladder, keep his eyes and work in that short area, when you have like crosses and drags and ins, when the clock keeps running, those defenders are going to eventually, they're going to fall out of good coverage and it's going to open up. So if the offensive line breaks down and Tua starts moving up the field, somebody's going to be open when you have all these crosses, especially when you got guys like, Waddle and Parker and Gesicki and Gaskin, So these are very good play designs that perfectly fit his skill set. Again, he's able to climb the ladder here. He just keeps buying time. And everything I'm doing here is in slow motion. I kind of ticked it down so you're not getting the full feel of the velocity. But that was a very good throw that had velocity. It was a mid-range pass. And these are things that we did not see from Tua last year. And now on this one, I really didn't like the play design. You have the offensive line sliding down blocks to the left, And then you have Tua just sitting in the pocket. Maybe something else was meant to happen, but Brown misses the block here. But the one thing I do, like, look, Tua gets away from 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and he's strong enough to keep going. And last year, that wouldn't have happened. So if you look at Tua, he's got a strong lower body, and the fact that he can break these tackles is definitely a good sign for the future. Now, this is something we saw that's a tendency from college, is his high throws. Now, that was a high throw, and maybe it's because he's not the tallest quarterback. So this one was a little high. Another one. See, somebody had said that this was Waddle's fault. But you see right here, the ball's being released, and he sees where Waddle is. So it's really about him hooking up Waddle, not throwing to an area. But watch his legs as he's twisting right there. That's not how the ball you want to deliver the football. That's not a solid platform. And we saw some of that last year where you see the leg kicking out a little bit at the end. That's poor mechanics. It's very poor mechanics. And, again, he's going to develop. I mean, Tom Brady took 3-4 years, Drew Brees 3-4 years before their mechanics really got fine-tuned. So, but this is a tendency. You can go back and look at the other tape I've done of him, and he does this. But you really didn't see much. I think this was like the second one. I only saw it twice. So I disagree with somebody who said that it was Waddle's fault. He comes up to me and says something, but I don't know. Those mechanics were really poor. So again, look at him. This is what we look at that. You see, look at the distance between his feet right there. That's somebody who's got strong hips and ability to move in short area with power. And you did not see that last year. Again, him climbing the ladder, ball coming out with velocity. Very, very nice. Very, very nice stuff. Very, very nice. Again, more short area. The crossers, which, when you start getting into that 4 and 5 second mark, these corners, these secondary guys, they're getting gassed. They're losing their receivers. And so his ability to buy time, climb that pocket, throw that football with the kind of talent, the skill set that you got as far as your receivers at running back, tight end, and receiver itself, this is what you're going to see all year. As long as they can keep the interior three, the guard and center, from getting that pressure right up the gut, then you're going to see this all year. Now, this is one of his deep plays, and people are like, where is he going to really put this football? There was not much separation. It was a very tight window. You had a corner and a safety. He kind of was just throwing it away, sort of. I think it was a planned one route design. So this doesn't say he can't throw the deep ball to it. Now, without all 22, it's very difficult to see what he's seeing. But you can see Mike Gesicki is open, and he's right here. And there's no defender near him. He's waiting for the ball. And Tua just doesn't see him. So this was a missed opportunity by Tua. It's not the end of the world. Everyone has one of these, but it is what it is. Okay, so another one of these where he gets the pressure up inside. He's very calm. You see, very, very, this is not the guy we saw last year. He's very, very calm. And I love this pass play. But Tua put that velocity in. But now he has a close-up of it. Again, the high and a little. Everyone wants to say he's the most accurate quarterback in college history. Technically, he is. I mean, statistically, I guess that's what he is. But there's a lot of mitigating factors. So I think, he's still, like I said, in the developmental stage. And his ball placement needs a little work. But that, again, it will come in time. Great catch, though. Again, nice protection. You're not seeing happy feet. There's a little bit of pressure. He feels it, but he's trusting in his line. And very nice platform. And wow, he throws over 2 levels of coverage. That was an excellent, excellent pass. And showed like he has enough. It's just like Drew Brees. To me, his comp is a mixture of Wilson and Drew Brees. I don't believe he has the accuracy of Drew Brees, but it's like in that ballpark. And then I don't believe he has the speed or the deep ball that Wilson has, but he has that short area quickness and the ability to buy time and the ability to keep his eyes downfield. So there's like this amalgamation in my mind of a little bit of Wilson and a little bit of Brees, and it's going to be something that Tua can make great things happen with as long as they keep developing around his skill set. Now, this was the fourth down play. Could have been caught. It could have been, but watch the ball placement here. So in situations like this, you see there's a lot of traffic there. These guys are going to be coming in real quick. You want to put it in a place where it's most conducive for the receiver to get the ball. Watch where the ball comes. You see right there, it came inside and a little high. This is the one where you want to throw it down at the guy's midsection and knee so he gets down, and it's really where the receiver is going to get the ball, and then that's not going to be so easy for them to knock it out. But, these things are all going to grow. And again, we're not here to create, two good, two bad scenarios. We're just evaluating his play. That's really it. This is my favorite pass. This is such a tight window, and it's really a mid-range throw. And it showed, to me, there's one pass play. It was like the last one of the night, and it doesn't really get much talk, but watch this thing, man. Look at this. Look at that window, man. You're talking 4 yards and maybe a yard or half a yard where the defender's at. That is one great pass. And what is that? It's got to be 20 yards down the field. So everything you're seeing here is pretty much good. Now, again, finalizing his mechanics, getting more consistency out of it, better ball placement, staying healthy. All these things are what's going to carry him to the top. Right? All right, so you saw the film. You could see there was a calmness in him. And I said it in probably 2 other videos before this. I like to find good in the bad. And Austin Jackson is looking terrible. And I'm going to have plenty of film for that. If you've never been here before and you're like, check the film out, you'll have plenty of that. But his poor play, as bad as it is, it's not a good thing. It does reveal a good thing. And that good thing is Tua's confidence, ability to deal with a pocket breaking down was revealed in a very clear way as a positive. It was quantum growth from last year. I did my studies. You could see it. He was nervous when the pocket was clean. And I saw a little bit of that in week 1. But week 2, his growth from that, it's the poor play shows Tua is just about back. And the whole talk of, you wouldn't get this quarterback if he was injured, and you're lucky, you roll the dice at 5. It looks like right now, Miami's loading up for some good luck. Now, I like to also be even-keeled. We haven't really seen him throw deep. We haven't seen him throw to deep outs yet. And we still have to see him play through the season. Because last year, when you watched him, he had 2 to 3 or 4 games where he was kind of healthy. But then as the season progressed, his body broke down. So we want to get to that. But from what I'm seeing, the way he was moving in the pocket, the way it was just totally different. And I don't think he's ever going to be 100% 2018 Tua. You can't get all those injuries, especially the hip injury, and ever be 100%. But it's looking real close. The way he was able to distribute the football, the confidence, the short area movement. Miami is in a very good situation now. Again, we need more tape, and I'm going to provide that for you. But right now, I would be very happy if I was a Fins fan. And I think we're going to be very happy the way he's going to handle the season and the years to come. I think that, yes, there was some elements we're concerned with as far as Jackson and Noah, were they worth that pick? But honestly, if both those picks don't pan out and Tua pans out, it was a winning draft. 1 for 3 in this situation. I'm not saying the other two ain't. If Tua pans out, that was a winning draft. So I have so many things to be happy about. The next one I'm going to do is the offensive line. There's going to be still concerns there, and there's going to be some good things to look at too. And then I'm going to do a B-roll later on in the week, which is a lot of good stuff. Bits and pieces here and there. But overall, fans, we are headed in the right direction. It appears. Still early. Don't want to light your fire too early, but good news is here with Tua and his play, and most importantly, his health. So this is Curtis. Thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Love those comments. You know that. And I just want to give a shout out to Ace Per Head. World-class leaders. World-class software. Perfect to use to get in on the action that's going on right now. It's only going to heat up come to week 1. Fantastic sponsors. The best sponsors. They give anything I need. They take care of me, man. They're phenomenal. And that's just a little bit of how they are as a company. Phenomenal company. So this is Curtis. Thank you for staying to the end. Be well and catch you next time.
So